Good to finally get a game at Wolves despite the result.
Yeah, it was, to be honest. I think we needed it. But it, despite the result, it was still. I really enjoyed being out there, seeing the fans again, and playing against some top opposition, and just getting a game of football in. It was good.
And I suppose the scoreline didn't necessarily reflect the game. You had a couple of good chances and clearly a couple of errors leading to the goals.
Yeah, I thought we started the game really well. Had the better of the chances early on. If we could have taken one, it could have set us up a little bit better. But yeah, they were more ruthless than us at the end of the day, and then we looked like we maybe tired the last 20 minutes, and they made some good substitutions and took the game away from us. But yeah, I think we've looked back at some of the stuff and some of the good play, and at times I think there's positive to take from it.
And one of those positives from the game, surely, Kyron Gordon coming into it. I mean, you've played a couple of times now with Kyron this year. Just how good can he be?
Yeah, he did brilliant. Fair play to him, being recalled from his loan and stepping straight in against Premier League opposition, and he didn't look phased. I think that's a big thing, and yeah, he put in a real good shift, and hopefully he can continue. But no, it was a great performance from him.
I mean, how's it been from a player's perspective this last few weeks? You've not known when games are going ahead. You've thought games are going ahead, then they've been cancelled. You've then had weeks without games. I imagine it's just been incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, that's the word exactly. Ridiculously frustrating. Everyone I speak to thinks, "Oh God, you had your Christmas off and your New Year's Eve off or whatever." But end of the day, we were in preparing for games. That would then get called off last minute. So it was just, everything was all over the shop. Like, you'd get a text on New Year's Eve saying that the New Year's Day game's off and you're sat at home having pasta or whatever. And though your family might be away doing something, and it was so frustrating, as I'm sure it was for a lot of the fans. But hopefully we've got over the worst of it now.
I suppose now it's just a case of it's vital that the team picks up where it left off at Fulham a month ago.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, we needed that 90 minutes at the weekend just to get it in our legs, and we've been training well. We've been preparing as well as we can. We've had long enough to do it. But yeah, we just need to get right back into it now. Like I say, we're thankful for the game that we had at the weekend and start building a bit of momentum again starting this Saturday.
I mean, the games will be relentless now. I mean, there was going to be quite a lot of them anyway, but you're going to be playing catch-up in a lot of it. I suppose the first target is just going to be trying to close that gap to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd rather have the points on the board, but it's going to come thick and fast now. I think we've got the squad to deal with it. And, I think as players, we want to play games. If as long as we can try and keep as many players fit as possible, I think it's good to kind of build that momentum. So get off to a good start this weekend, and hopefully we can go from there and go on a bit of a roll. But we don't want to look too far ahead. It's all about Saturday now.
Is there a confident feel now within the group that you are in the race for promotion, despite the fact you are still mid-table with the form that you were in and the games you've got left?
I think it's still wide open. I think there's not just us. I think there's lots of clubs in the Championship that think they've got a real sniff of the playoffs, if not, automatic. So it's wide open, and there's no reason why we can't be in the picture. But we've got work to do, given our position that we're in. But thankfully, there's a lot of games left. So yeah, we just need to be consistent and try and put a run together.
What do you feel Paul, Stuart and Jack have done over the last month or so to really reinvigorate the season?
Brought intensity to the training sessions, gone back to demanding that first and foremost. We've tweaked little bits of formation, and just competition for places all over has just gone right up. Everyone's raring to go. Results are going well, so you do build that bit of momentum naturally. But yeah, I just think it's going back to having big demands on the training pitch, and yeah, just going back to, being really intense, and we don't really want anyone in the league to be able to outwork us or outrun us.
Do you feel that knowing Paul, obviously, from last season has really helped things, hit the ground running since he took over?
Yeah, I think it has been a big help. There's normally that small transitional phase when a manager takes over. Normally they'll get that in a pre-season or whatever, but there was no need really. And to be fair, even new players like Connor, he's worked with the gaffer before, so it was really, really smooth and straight in. His first day was sort of straight in, and we sort of knew what he wanted and his demands, and he set them out just to make it clear to the lads that probably weren't here last year.
Very good amount of game time this season yourself. You've played in several positions all over the pitch. How have you personally found this season?
It's been up and down. I think personally, I think I managed to find a bit of consistency the first part of the season, and then ended up being that left-sided player. Got a couple of goals and assists, and was fairly happy with my performances. And then obviously we've tweaked the formation, which means I've sort of come out of it a little bit in recent weeks, but now there's competition for places. I still want to be sort of seen as in an attacking role, but realise that if there is a position that needs filling in or whatever, then I'm happy to do a job for the team. But it's been okay. I just want to keep adding goals and assists in my game, keep playing, trying to get into the team again, and just hopefully take us up the league.
So do you feel potentially that switch back in formation hasn't necessarily been beneficial to you as an individual?
Well, we're tweaking between two. I mean, obviously we've gone 3-5-2 and 3-4-3 recently. So it was just a case of me, sitting down with the gaffer and seeing where he did see me in them positions, because under the previous regime, when we did play that, I was sort of seen as either a left-sided midfielder of the flat three or a wing back. So I just wanted to get the gaffer's feelings on that, and I think we decided that it's definitely one of the attacking roles that I'm fighting for.
Was that something that you sorted out with Paul, that you really wanted clarity about where he sees you? Because obviously, clearly, with your own situation in terms of your contract next summer. Yeah,
definitely. And obviously, I looked at the squad as well. Seeing that we've got two left wing backs already. We've got two left-sided midfielders already. So I just, I did need clarity really, and. But at the end of the day, if positions need filling on the pitch, then I'd be happy to do a job. But I'm just focusing now on trying to get into the team.
I can ask, is that the key now? Are you happy to be fighting for your place right now within the team, or have you got sort of thoughts or potential options elsewhere? Is that something that's come into the reckoning?
No, not at all. I mean, it's obviously a good thing if I'm fighting for my place, because it means results are going well. And they have, and the lads that have come in have been fantastic. So, as long as we're climbing the table, I mean, I've not heard absolutely anything other than, in terms of options or whatever. But, it can only be a good thing, and if the results are going well, and if they're not, then, maybe you get a chance. But there's going to be, because we've got so many games coming up at the moment, we're going to have to use the squad, so everyone's got to be at it.
Really interesting one up next for yourself. Hometown club, boyhood club. How do you feel against playing against Derby?
A bit of a strange one. I think the majority of my mates are Derby fans. Obviously, I came through the ranks at Forest and ended up growing to dislike them a little bit. But it's a bit of a strange one. I don't know. It doesn't really mean as much to me as it once did. But it'll be good. I always enjoyed going there and playing there, and I know certain areas of the ground where my mates sit and stuff. So it's always a fun one.
I imagine that's a really strange position to be in then, with those Derby connections, then going on to play so much for Forest. How have you kind of worked through that mentally as a person within football.
Yeah, it's been so strange. I mean, so my dad was like a die-hard Derby fan his whole life, and then ends up watching me play for Forest. So naturally, his love for Derby kind of went away a little bit, to the point now he has no affiliation whatsoever with them, and he'll just like follow me and support me. So I've kind of just ruined it for the whole family, really. They don't know who to support now.
For Derby's perspective this year, though, I mean, how impressed have you been with their kind of battling qualities in the adversity they've got? I mean, 21-point deduction. They could be off the bottom if they get a good result this weekend.
Yeah, they've been brilliant. I think recently the results have been unbelievable, really. They're having a right go at it. They've clawed back so much with such a small squad as well, and using so many young lads. And I don't think they called off any games really with COVID either. Which, you know, some teams can't help that, but they were just ploughing through and picking up results as well. So hats off to them. Looks like they've got a real good team spirit, and it's going to be a tough game for sure.